And I have always loved zoos. I've always loved zoos. We have a pretty good one here. You know, we've got several good ones in Florida. That's not lining up correctly, but I'm gonna live with it. One of the things I discovered in, you know, since starting to do this, is that I'm finding out that good enough is good enough. You know, I don't have to have it perfect. At one point, I wanted it perfect, but now I'm like, no, perfect doesn't happen all the time. You know, this is not something that can be just done. Perfect doesn't happen. So you have to just accept that good enough is good enough. And I know I just jumped topics, you know, from my grandmother, who turned out to not be as good a person as I thought she was when I was 5, taking me to the zoo to, you know, being perfect. But, you know, I never said I wasn't going to jump topics either. But, oh, I'll tell you one. One of my earliest zoo memories is seeing vampire bats at the zoo. And I thought it was just the coolest thing, because the building that, you know, the bats were in a building. They were in you know, inside. And, you know, vampire bats are tiny. They're really hated spray tans. Yes, she really hated spray tans, especially those people for whom spray tans are natural. But what was I saying? What was I saying? Somebody remind me. Vampire bats. I don't know if any of you have ever seen a vampire bat in person, but it's a tiny creature. You know, you can put one in your hand and it won't fill up your entire hand. So that was the first thing I was surprised at, is that the first thing I was surprised was, you know, they're small. You know, I was thinking vampire bats, those are got to be monstrous. Besides, I'd seen all the Hammer horror movies. I remember those big floppity plastic things that they used to represent vampire bats in all the Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee movies, you know? So here was this vampire bat habitat, and it was about the size of one of the Planet Zoo exhibit cases. But what got me was, it was inside a building, and the building was dark, and they had basically this airlock situation. Hold on. They basically had this airlock situation where you, where you walked into the building through this door, and suddenly it was all dark and red. You know, red light was everywhere, because, you know, but it was just so that the vampire bats, that they basically reversed the vampire bats' day-night cycle. Let's see. I've technically been to Florida 3 times. I don't remember the first 2. That child, 5 to 8. I went again when I was 23 or 24. We're talking about going again this year. I don't know if that'll happen now. Well, if you're ever in the neighborhood, feel free to, you know, wave at me as you drive past. We do have some pretty good zoos down here, and, you know, I'm a huge fan. I just love me some zoos. Now, this is an interesting quandary, isn't it? Because I don't think that's wide enough. But you know what? I don't think it matters. Ta-da! Okay, now. Okay. I should have made this all one object at the beginning. Old dopey me. This is what I mean when I was talking earlier about how I'm sometimes a clumsy builder. I will do something and only realize afterward, oh my lord, I should have done it this other way. And it would have been so much easier. But, you know, hindsight and all that number. Being what it is. Okay. All right. Oh, hell no. Can we just take care of that, please? There we are. There we are. All right. Let's see. Never been to Spain. I've never been to Spain either. Egypt I've never been to. Italy I've been to. Never been anywhere on the African continent. I think the oddest place I've ever been personally was Madras, India. And I was there by accident. And I can hear you go, what? How does somebody go to India by accident? Well, you'd be surprised. I was actually heading to Australia, and the plane that I was in had to stop off, and there was a 24-hour delay. So we were basically in Madras, India for like a day, and rather than keep us on the plane, they basically gave us passes so that we could reboard the plane. But of course, you know, the plane wasn't going to wait for us, so if we missed the plane, it was our ass. You know, it was our fault. So I managed to go find a really nice place to eat that had the most, you know, the most amazing curry I have ever had in my life. And I managed to get back on the plane just in time, and then we flew off to Australia. That was my whirlwind vacation. I decided, you know, I managed to find a way to go to Asia and Australia, because my vacation started off in Japan. But I managed to find a way to go to Asia and Australia for under $3,000 US, and not have it be a survival test. You know, it was actually a very pleasant trip, and it was a very wonderful vacation. And I really loved every second of it. Even the curry in India was really great. But I can say I went to India, you know? Where did I go in Australia? Well, I went to visit some friends in Sydney, and I then got toured around the environs of Sydney. Spent some time on the beaches. Took a small airplane to how do you pronounce it? Coober Pedy? Took an airplane trip. You know, my friends were like, you know, yeah, we're going to take you up there, and you know, so I have a bush hat that I bought in Coober Pedy. Actually has an opal on it, and the opal is worth more than the hat. But honestly, otherwise, this hat looks like it came right off the head of Paul Hogan. I don't mean to be too stereotypical, but I was a kid. What do you want, you know? Honestly, I was 23 when I made that trip, so Did I visit the Blue Mountains? Um, Mostly, it was the town itself. It may have been the Blue Mountains. What I remember about the mountains that we visited was it had rings. These mountains, the sides of the mountains, they had rings, colorful rings. They were like gemstones or whatever. I don't know exactly what caused this phenomenon, but it was like the rock itself was red, and then there were these blue and yellow and white rings in the ground themselves. And I thought it was just one of the most fantastic things I've ever seen. Certainly, the best the best looking mountain range I've seen outside of the Appalachians. And yeah, I know I'm supposed to root for the Rockies, but in my opinion, the Appalachians are so much better looking as mountains are concerned than the Rockies. I know, guys. I know. I've gone silent again. I'll be talking in a second. Not exactly what I wanted. That's more like it. Let's see. Remarkable mountain range in New Zealand. Yeah. I'm actually sad that I never got to go to New Zealand while I was on this trip, but it was what it was, and I don't regret it. And I had such a good time, and I met a bunch of people that I had only encountered by way of my military service. What happened was we had a multinational training operation with members of the Australian Army. And basically, they were like, "Hey, if you're ever down our way, give us a call. We'll show you a good time," that kind of thing. And it just so happened that I was heading down that way, so I gave them a call and I said, "Hey, I don't know if you remember me," and they were like, "Oh yeah, we remember you. Come on down. We'll be, you can crash on the couch. Everything will be cool, And so it was very, very cool indeed. It was just a very good time, and I really enjoyed it. Australia, if I couldn't live in the States, Australia would definitely be a place that I would consider as a substitute. Though I almost moved to the Isle of Man. I was offered a job managing a restaurant on the island. And while I was making preparations to go, unfortunately, there was a fire. The man who offered me the job got killed in the fire, and the restaurant burned down. So it was like completely and totally horrible luck there, because I was looking forward to working in Europe. I visited Europe, but I never actually worked there, and I've never spent a lot of time there. And that was going to be my new adventure, and I never got to live through it. That's all right. I'm gonna take a quick water break because I've been talking a while. My voice is getting kind of scratchy. When I started this, one of the things that I was worried about was, oh God, they're going to hear me swallow, and I'm like, no, that's ridiculous. Don't be paranoid. Gulp. So, all right. I'll be honest right now, I don't have any clues to what I'm looking for. But I will know it when I see it. I can always go back and... Are you talking to me or Feeny, Mava? Ah, yeah. Anybody know if this East Asian fence can be recolored? Or if the Indian fence can be recolored? It can. Which one, Lighter? The Asian fence or the Indian fence or both? What? The East Asian one? Cool. Come on, come on. Oh, good. Anthony's home. There's a young man in my neighborhood who believes that he's Paul Walker from the Fast and the Furious movies. So what he will do is he will work on his car. And part, apparently, of working on his car is revving the engine to the point that everybody else in the neighborhood can hear it. And it gets so loud that I'm surprised my microphone is not picking it up. But you can always tell that he's at home, you know, that he's not at work, because, you know, on the weekends he will be working on his car. Too far away from home if it was only a few hours. Yeah. Yeah. That's always the catch, isn't it? Although I have a dream house. I know it sounds weird to say, but I have a dream house. It's located on Big Pine Key in the Florida Keys. And last time I looked, my dream house was actually up for sale. The only reason why I haven't bought it is because I don't have the $5.4 million that they're asking for. See, I really like the progress you made, Jack. Builds are getting... Thank you! I really appreciate that. I really do. I'll be honest. I get a lot of encouragement, and I know this sounds corny, and I don't want it to sound like I'm fishing, but I watch other people's videos. I'm getting that bleepity bleep. Hold on a second. You know what? No, I'll just deal with it. I watch other people's videos, and I see them do things, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can ever do that. But then I just have to tell myself that if I don't try to do it, I'm never going to be able to do it. So I try, and it turns out, hey, I can do this. There's still some things that I struggle with, but you know, I'll tell you the truth. I've never, for whatever reason, I have never been able to make certain things work, and I've got no idea why. I have no idea why. Okay, this is going to look a little messy, but I want it to go to the end. So there. I don't think I left Discord on. Is that a bleeping from you guys commenting? Because I don't think I've left Discord on. I may have, though. And if I have, oh well. Yeah, watching other people's builds really help. It probably is Discord, but, you know, mistakes will be made. This is my first ever live stream, and I'm going to get some things wrong. But that's how you learn. One of my instructors in cooking school, while I was first becoming a chef, said that the best cooks are the ones that make all kinds of mistakes, but the trick is to not make the same mistake more than once and learn from it and figure out how to solve it. And that way you improve your skills as a chef. He had a very interesting name. His name was Dominic Cianciola. He was about as Italian as you could possibly be without actually being born in Italy. And he was a fantastic chef, an amazing instructor, and encouraging as all get out, while simultaneously being the most scathing, critical person. You know, if you made a mistake and it was a simple error and you made an effort to correct your error and you caught your error, and you acknowledged that you made the error, he was a nice guy and he had no problem with you at all. However, if you made an error and you refused to acknowledge it, or even worse, you doubled down on it, and you refused to admit that you made the error, then he could really come down on you. And heaven help you, should you ever make the mistake of oh, I don't know, serving undercooked food to a guest. You know, we were in one class, and one of my classmates, he made chicken wings. One of my classmates made chicken wings, and one of the wings was undercooked to the point that it was almost raw in the middle, and Chef Dominic just exploded. I mean, like dynamite exploded, because that can kill people. You know, the first things we were taught in cooking school was how not to kill people with our cooking. And it sounds like I'm joking, but it's not. That's how they put it. You know, what we're going to teach you in this class is how not to kill your customers. Did I know if you press the spacebar while holding E, you put on angle snap? I did not. But now I know. So next time I need to put a railing on something, I'll be able to do it easier. Thank you for the tip, by the way. I do appreciate the advice. I really do. Let's see. Okay. Right, but now I do need the railing on the elevator. Alright. Ow. I keep banging my microphone. Let's see. Alrighty. For now, I'm going to leave the buildings alone. I don't think they're completely finished, but they are at the point that I'm contemplating what else to do with them, if that makes any sense at all to people. So I'm going to leave them alone for a little while, let them percolate in the back of my head while I work on the crocodile habitat. All right. Let's see. What kind of space do the crocodiles need anyway? I don't think it's very much, if I remember correctly. The crocodiles are one of those species that, for all that it seemed, you know, these are huge animals, of course they need lots of space, and it turns out no, they can basically live in a shoebox. Yeah, 210 meters. They don't require a lot of space, an individual croc. Thing is, I'm going to be putting quite a few of them in here, so no barriers are our friends. Let's make this 10 meters. You know what? No, for this I can do 20. Okay. Now, this isn't just going to be saltwater crocodiles, by the way. It's also going to be gharials. But the first one I'm planning on working on are the crocs. Yeah, that looks about right. Yeah. Okay. Right. I didn't think that would work, but you never knew. Perfect.